everyone! Today I will be showing you how I make two warm wintry meals. I'm going to be making a stew and a chili. Starting off with the stew, you're going to take a chuck steak and cube it. Not too small, but also not too big, otherwise the meat takes a very long time to cook. And I'm using about a pound of the steak. This is going to last me and my husband about 3 days. Add the meat to a pot, add some oil, and cook on medium heat. While the meat is cooking, right now I'm having my husband peel some potatoes for me. You want to prep these probably while you're cooking the meat, because as soon as you add the water and it starts boiling, you need to add the potatoes because the potatoes take the longest time to cook. Once the meat is fully cooked, and you can tell when it is fully cooked because all the juices and the water have come out, kind of like how you see here, you're going to add flour. Now, I would say about 3 tablespoons depending on how much meat you have in there. You just want to add enough flour that every time you stir it, you're going to see it get thicker and thicker. And you'll start to see here that as I keep adding flour and stirring, you'll see the water starting to evaporate. That's exactly what you want. You want kind of a little bit of a coating of flour over the meat. So you'll see in a second how that's gonna look. Now that the meat has the perfect flour coating, you're going to add, I just get a stew packet from the store, a beef stew packet, and on the back it tells me to use 3 cups of water. Sometimes I'll add a little bit more, sometimes I'll add a little bit less, sometimes I'll save some, but right here I'm saving a little bit. I'm stirring the meat, getting the juices around, then I'm going to add a little bit of the packet, about half of the packet, then I will add more of the water and the rest of the packet. That way it just doesn't get clumpy. Also, try not to add too much water. We have to remember that this is a stew and not a soup. So 3 cups should be enough if you're adding other veggies to it. Once the pot starts to boil, then you're going to add your potatoes. Right here, I have my potatoes diced and they're sitting in cold water. The reason I have them in cold water is because I'm not going to boil the potatoes beforehand. So the cold water is going to get a lot of the starch off of the potatoes and it won't make your stew too starchy. I didn't show it beforehand, but usually what I do is I'll dice my potatoes while I'm waiting for the water to boil. That way you're saving a little bit of time. Stir the potatoes in and let them cook. They usually take about 30 minutes, give or take. Sometimes I do them a little bit under because we also have other veggies that need to cook. I'll test the potatoes with the fork. If the fork goes through but they still hold on, they're perfect. That's when I add the carrots and the peas. Now I just add canned, and because of that, it doesn't take a long time to cook the rest of them. If you are using all fresh products, you might want to add the carrots in probably before the potatoes, and then the peas, depending on which ones take the longest to cook. Let that simmer for about another 15 minutes just to heat up the rest of the veggies that you just put in. And that's it. Amazing beef stew. Super easy, super cheap. Now on to the chili. I'm going to spray my pan with a little bit of nonstick spray. And then I'm going to add about a pound of ground beef. You can also use ground turkey if you want to cut calories back. It works both ways. I've used it both. They're both amazing. But right now I have ground beef on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. Turn the temperature to a medium heat, add a little bit of olive oil, and cook the ground beef down until it starts to get that ground beef texture. If you guys are like me, I have a hard time getting the ground beef to crumble. My husband bought me this amazing ground beef spatula type of thing. It is amazing. I'll try to link it below for you guys, but it works wonders. It completely crumbles the ground beef. As you can see, like the bigger chunks that were not breaking are starting to break here. Amazing. While the ground beef is cooking, you're going to want to dice up a small onion, if not a half of a medium-sized onion, and also one of each bell pepper. Right here, in a second, you will see that I got red, orange, and yellow. You can also get green to add to it as well if you want to add some color. You can add whatever veggies you like. I'm just adding bell peppers, but you can add mushrooms. You can add whatever you choose, whatever you please, whatever your family's liking is. Just use my recipe as like more of a suggestion. You don't have to follow it to a T. Once everything is diced, you're gonna add that to your pot. You kind of want to cook it until the onions get translucent and the bell peppers get a little bit softer. Once everything has cooked down a little bit, then I'm going to add 2 cans, small cans, of the diced green chilies. I also add jalapenos. I didn't have any today, but they also come in cans, tiny cans of jalapenos. I add those sometimes. And then I add petite diced tomatoes. You can do diced if you want, but I like it more if I could fit my chili on a cracker. So I do the petite diced tomatoes. That way they're just a little bit smaller. And now, bring on all the seasonings. We have onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, chili powder, paprika, and cumin. You can also add red crushed chili flakes if you want to add more heat to it. My husband doesn't like it, but sometimes I will just add it to my bowl alone. I'll be leaving all of the directions and measurements down below, so don't worry if you miss anything or I don't explain anything right. Everything is going to be down below. When all the seasonings are stirred in, then I'm going to add 2 of these small cans of tomato sauce. And now for the beans. I have 2 different types of beans. I have white beans and I have kidney beans. I'm going to strain them and rinse them. The reason why I rinse them is, do you see those bubbles when I'm rinsing them? To me, I've always heard that that causes gas. So I like to rinse my beans until I see absolutely no more bubbles and no more water. I'm just gonna add it to the chili and stir them in. I'm gonna do this for both of the beans. You can add whatever beans you like. If you like black beans or chickpeas or anything of that type, you can add those to this. This is just what me and my husband like. Cook the beans for about 5-10 minutes until it starts to boil, and then add couple of bay leaves. I use about 3 because I really like the flavor of the bay leaves, and add a whole bunch more of the same seasonings that we put in. If you would like it sweeter, you can add brown sugar, cinnamon, whatever you like. I'm not really big on sweet and savory. Also, if you have acid reflux like me, adding sugar to this would help reduce some of the acidity. Stir all that in, and then you're gonna let it simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes, or until the bay leaves start to release some of their juices. So I would say until the bay leaves start to get a little bit soft or more of a darker green color. Then the chili is ready. And there you have it, 2 warm, cozy, hearty meals for the winter time. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is super cheap, super easy. If you guys like these cooking videos, please let me know. I will do more of these. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.